to license it.
Meep, meep.
Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a Playart model Mercedes Benz 350 SL. That's a beautiful and a classic car in real life, but this model has seen better days. The paint is, well, it's hard to tell what the original paint color was before Junior got a hold of a handful of magic markers. I'm going to swap out the wheels and, of course, repaint it. But sadly, this windshield is cracked and beyond my ability to repair perfectly, so I'll do my best by making a DIY replacement for it. This is my first Playart model car, and it's always Christmas morning when you crack the base off and look inside, and I thought something was making some noise and rattling. Look, this is really thin, I don't know, aluminum, and it's broken in two. I have to give some attention to that. So the first surprise is kind of a cheap insides to this Playart model. Oh, well, that's not a big problem. And the next piece is broken. And we've got built-in taillights in the front. We've got red headlights on this Mercedes. That's too bad. And there's the cracked windshield. And some more magic marker. Well, I got my work cut out for me here. Probably swapping out these wheels. I'll see. Alright. It is a metal base. It's actually quite heavy. This would be a great racer in the day because of the weight of the casting, so into the paint stripping gel, and almost immediately you can see the black swirls. The marker, I guess, was the later edition. It's just skimming right off already. And I'm just going to paint the base because the suspension on the other side is not steel, it's plastic, and I don't want that to melt in the stripper. But I have a sneaking suspicion this one is not going to take too long. And it didn't. That was no more than 4 or 5 minutes. So Playart does not score highly on the paint quality scale. Yeah, there was nothing to that strip down. Playart die-casts were made in Hong Kong and were mostly distributed in packages with the name Peelers, which was the in-house brand of toy cars for Woolworth. During the late 70s and the early 1980s, Sears sold blister package Playarts called Roadmates, and McCrory stores had a line of Playart vehicles called Freewheelers. So they were all over the place, just different brandings and packagings. Well, there wasn't much paint left on there, so the bare metal work is just a perfunctory routine to take out any inconsistencies. There were no really bad casting lines on this. As a matter of fact, I would give Playart a very high score for the bare metal. What lets it down is the really, really cheap insides. And I don't want to paint the base, I just want to wire brush it up and give it a polish and try to restore its luster. Because it's quite sharp, actually. So a little bit of metal polish on my microfiber cloth, and I'll give that a pretty good rub down. Pretty good. So I'll leave that in its original state underneath. And while I put everything into the hot soapy water, let me say thank you for visiting the channel today, and I hope you're enjoying this video, and if you are, please give it a thumbs up. And why not become a new subscriber to Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers by pressing the little button on the bottom right corner of your screen, and take the next step and hit the notification bell too, and then you'll be right up to date whenever I post something new. And I invite you to leave your respectful comments below as well. And I'm always interested, especially to hear where you're watching from. So far, I've got subscribers from really all over the world: Mexico, Brazil, America, Canada, the UK, all across Europe, New Zealand, Australia, Tasmania, and let me say Selamat Datang to my Indonesian subscribers, where I used to live. So interesting that a little makeover hobby channel can reach such a diverse group. But you're here because we share a common interest in die-cast cars or restorations. So have a good time. I sure enjoy making these for you. And with all that color palette selection, I went with a metallic brown, which I think suits the Mercedes. Now I'm going to make a windshield out of this 0.5 millimeter clear plastics, pretty flexible. So I traced the original windshield, and then I transferred that and made blocked it in on the computer. And you can follow these steps. I've taped it on top of the clear plastic. And now I'll just cut it out with an X-Acto knife and make a few folds in that. Well, the rear tail lights should be red. I'm just making them a little more translucent with the touch-up. And the front ones are going to change from red to chrome. So I did swap out the wheels, ultimately. This is what I have selected for the Mercedes. And there's a quick look at my DIY windshield, front and back. And I ended up doing a little super gluing on those parts that were broken, and that was a quick repair. Not too tough. And it clicks back together. Couple of screws in place. This one had a few challenges for me, but overall, for the quality of the model that I started with, I'm pleased with how this has turned out. It was terribly cheap inside bits and ill-fitting, really, overall. So there were some struggles, but I powered through, and I'm happy with the final result that you're looking at now. So let's have a revisit. Early in the morning it looked like this, and I'm happy to present the finished product to you. And that's going to go into a gift bag and have a second life with a happy new owner. Thanks again for visiting today. Come on back real soon. It's coffee time.